Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Last time, we got Miles Edgeworth declared innocent in the murder of Robert Hammond as we kind of broke down Yanni Yogi into confessing. But he hinted that he did this out of revenge to Miles Edgeworth as well. And he insisted that we ask Edgeworth what he was talking about. But yeah, like Edgeworth was found innocent, but then he objected to that and then confessed to the DL6 murder of his father. So it looks like we're having a brief recess before we have a new trial. A new DL6 trial. Let's go. I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all of your effort. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, pal. I mean, you killed your dad? I don't want to believe it myself, Detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. Manslaughter in this case. Manslaughter. This is crazy. Just crazy. Nick, what are you doing? Huh? Oh, I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case? For what? Huh? Isn't it obvious? I want to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. Well, what are you talking about, pal? You just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it in court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. Alright. A few minutes later, we're back in court. Then I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. Von Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? I mean, Von Karma, he doesn't, get a not guilty verdict, no matter how long it's been since the trial started. But alright, will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth, I'm a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Please, please. The DL6 incident. It's coming back full circle. The game started with, technically the first trial didn't, but, the second trial with Mia and Maya and all that, that started with some vague things about DL6, and now it's coming all full circle. That day I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream? You were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out and I lost my memory of the events. Bah! The same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Alright. That day, we're just gonna go ahead. I mean, he went to observe one of his father's trials. He did, always look up to his dad and wanted to be a defense attorney, so that makes sense. Earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. I mean, can't really prove that. That was 15 years ago. Unless we look at earthquake records. Do they keep earthquake records for that long? I don't know. Anyway, Father Yogi lost their composure, began to argue. Then something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. Okay, yes. There was a single gunshot, then a scream. Wait. The gun fired once? Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot and that horrible scream. Scream. Okay. He remembers the scream to this day, but we don't care about that. Because, if you remember, in the DL6 case file, one bullet found in the heart, the murder weapon was fired twice. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream, and everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. But that doesn't make sense. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which page contradicts Miles Edgeworth's testimony? It is victim data. Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with the case? Why not just go with it? Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof. What? Impossible. Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to this incident? Okay, so, hear me out. This was taken from his heart. It still has the clear ballistic markings. That much is irrefutable. One bullet was found in the heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. So, we should contact Polly for this. I'm sure she would be able to help. But okay, no. Let's just look at all the DL6 evidence. And then just look at this. So, hear me out here. One bullet was found in his heart. It was lodged in his heart. That's where they removed it. That means it did not go through him. So why is there a gunshot in the window of the elevator? Look at this photograph. Doesn't it make you laugh? I will say that every single time he says that. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. So let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired. Where? Your Honor, please get a clue. I even spelled it out for you. Alright, so the contradiction, like I said, they found one bullet right in here. It did not go through his body, so why in the world is that there? As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see. A bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol, yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart, the other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. The case summary? That's on page 1. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door. Order! I will have order! Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly, that the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked this second bullet. So all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. Gah, how did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick, if the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it, I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick. Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So you killed your father, though that was not your intention. Yes, I did. Oh no. He's confessing. Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words. Mr. Wright. Let's just go with it. Your Honor, I object. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object, Oof. Nick? I don't know. His case is perfect. Oh no. Grah. It must exist. The second bullet. What? What did you just say? Nothing. The second bullet must exist. But where? Someone took it. It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet, it exists. What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist. I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullet. Why would he? Huh? First of all, how would he have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? Well... I mean, there's not really a need for it? I mean, to be fair, like, even if there were two guns... Ah, crap, I did not mean to press A. Crap. But, yeah, like, there's not a need for it because, you know, if 2 shots were fired out by Edgeworth, I mean, how would that convict anybody else, even though they said it was Yanni? But, okay, well, whatever. Let's go with this wrong train of thought. I know I'm going to get a strike. Of course there was a need, that's why he took it. But what possible reason could he have had? Well, the reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with him is... Huh. I guess we go with this? Because I did mention before, they are not afraid to, like, string you along a wrong path for, like, a good 5 or so minutes, only for you to get a strike. And I'm, like, 90% sure this is going to give me a strike, but okay. The murderer was a very cautious sort, you see. That's why the murderer had to search for that bullet. If that was the case, then he would have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well. Huh? Why would he only take one of the 2 shots fired? Why would he take the bullet out of the dude anyway? And whatever. Okay, yeah, if you really thought this through, blah, 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 I'm going to have to penalize you. Thank you. Okay, so was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? No, he didn't need it. Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Bah, the murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. Dirk. Had to take it. Had to take it? The murderer... What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But, the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to? Mr. Wright, what do you mean? Well, for instance... For instance, what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer? The bullet hit the murderer. Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. Unless it passed through you. I mean, come on, that happens too. You know? Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murder, the murderer himself was shot, and he left with the second bullet still inside, thus leaving only 1 bullet at the scene of the crime. Yes. I guess that's how it would work, yes. But there's a problem with that. The other 2 people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean the murderer came from outside, yes. Two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges, and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick. Huh? I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. Yes, an unusual event for the man. And that was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting. What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock, but took it because he was injured? Which would mean, it could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Karma. Oh man. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Uh-oh. Should I come out and say it now? Save it for a better... Well, I mean, what better time than now? You know, it's like what Rage Against the Machine always says. So, do it. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? I mean, you know, all we have is a hunch right now. You know, just a suspect. I mean, we don't really have to convict anyone. Just prove that Edgeworth didn't do it and then just let the statute of limitations run out. But, I mean, if you really want to go down this road... My hands are shaking. What? You mean VVV? Oh, Von Karma, okay. Von Karma? You mean the Von Karma? The prosecutor? Sitting right there? Bah. You don't object? I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? See, his objections are like, you know, he only has a finite number of them. He can't just throw them out willy-nilly. Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident. Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no. Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma, perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. Oh my god, I'm just reminded of that Curse the Cowardly Dog episode where that woman was like just trying to make everything perfect. Oh my god. Oh man, that was so good. That was so good. And like Courage was all upset because he wasn't perfect. But then the lesson of that episode is that it's okay to not be perfect. Nobody's really perfect. And that's what makes us all special. Who knew that Courage the Cowardly Dog could have like that uplifting of a freaking story? Like the same TV series that had the mummy of King Ramses like trying to terrorize people with some smooth like funk music playing in the background. It was just amazing. But all right. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane. No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Clearly you've never met Solid Snake. Wait, what does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where? Tisk, tisk, tisk. Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove I was shot? So, I mean, to be fair, if, like, bullet wounds... Okay, hear me out here. Because, see, bullets... A bullet itself rarely kills people. What you die from is the hemorrhaging from the bullet. You know, the bleeding. People bleed out after they get shot. That's why they always say to stop the bleeding. Because when a gun is fired, the bullet, I mean, it's like super hot and is traveling at lightning speed. If it can pass through you without hitting any major arteries or anything, you'll be fine. If it gets lodged in you without hitting any major arteries or veins or whatever, you can be fine because the heat of the bullet can, in some cases, cauterize the wound. I watch way too much Law and Order, okay? I watch way too much Law and Order. But yeah, bullets can be cauterizing to wounds. And it isn't unheard of that people who have been shot, like, the bullets stay in them for the rest of their lives, because if there's no need to remove it, why remove it? If it closed up the wound and it's not, like, blocking anything, like if it's lodged in the bone, there's really no need to remove it, especially if it didn't break the bone. So, I mean, that's proof, but it's not like we have any evidence to prove that he was shot. But, well, I don't know. I mean, I just went over the possibility of it happening right there. I didn't even read the question. Can we produce evidence that he was shot? Okay, then. Let's say the bullet was lodged in the bone. Like, we don't really have a doctor at our disposal right now. But we do have something else. A little something else, if you will. That was not as smooth as I thought it sounded in my head. But alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is, well, not quite evidence, but a secret weapon that we've had this entire time. Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean? I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible for all these years? Well, there's one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. Huh. I refuse. You refuse? But refusing this means you acknowledge that you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you? Order! 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 Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. The statute of limitations runs out in this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I don't know. We have to give it a shot. And you have to hope he doesn't have, like, a metal hip or an iron lung. Actually, no, an iron lung. That's something that you're stuck inside in the hospital. Or any fillings. Fillings might set it off, too. But we gotta... Well, we got a positive here. But, I mean, the dude walks with a cane. You know, he might have some plates in his spine or legs or something. It reacted. Something inside his right shoulder. Okay, well, that's specific. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma. You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen. And so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. What? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. But, Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is you who must prove something here, Mr. Wright. Not I. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6? Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. That's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were close. One day away from freedom. You see, I have proof. What? Who would have thought you would have dug your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DO6 incident. And here's my final proof. I don't really know where you're going with this. Maybe this, because we haven't used it for anything yet? That's a bullet? Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DO6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings. You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. Oh yeah, and since it was fired twice, if the bullet inside him is the same pattern, but we kind of don't have enough time for him to undergo surgery because there needs to be testing and testing, and then just so much goes into preparing for a surgery. The statute of limitations run out. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets. Then if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets have been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol. In other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those in this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? But can you really force somebody to undergo surgery for the sake of a trial? I feel like that would violate some Hippocratic oath or something, but okay. That is a scream. That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. And then we're going through this again. Can't breathe. Quiet. I said quiet. You're not making this any easier. Stop breathing my air. I'll stop you. Stop breathing my air. Get away. Get away from my father. Bang. It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed. Mr. Von Karma? Yeah, he's kind of upset. So, it was you. Oh my god, his meltdown, so good. You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you. I'll bury you with my bare hands. Death, death. 15 years earlier. Mr. Chief Prosecutor. Oh, Mr. Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry. Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you'll have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth. It was a shock like none I had ever known. Me, penalized. It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out in the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button and nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. But to be fair... Wait a minute, like, to be fair, wouldn't they have known that those were his fingerprints on the gun when they tested them? But then again, I guess they just automatically assumed that was Yanni's gun. I mean, 2001. I mean, come on now. Like, we had enough technology back then to do stuff like this. But I'm just thinking about it. Like, because I don't know if this is true or not, but don't, like, federal workers already have their fingerprints, like, recorded? Or, like, if you're a police officer or lawyer, like, wouldn't you already have them on file? I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like that's something I heard before. So I don't know, like, how 100% true or not that is, but I feel like I've heard before that, like, officers, federal workers, and, like, you know, people in law already have their fingerprints on file. I don't know. Anyway, he died never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge! What? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it. Very well. It appears that we have come to a very long way to the end of this maze. I mean, to be fair, though, could they have really forced Von Karma to take surgery just to prove it? I mean, the only thing I see happening is that they would have let Edgeworth go on a technicality, and they would have, like, maybe filed a motion to extend the statute of limitations up until Von Karma chose to cooperate. Or, like, it would still be a cold case. I don't know. It seems like there was a very easy way out for Von Karma on that one, because I'm pretty sure you could not be forced unless there was, like, a Can there be a motion passed in court to force a suspect to, like, undergo surgery? Because to be fair, I know, like, you can be forced into a medical, or not, mental facility, or whatever the PC term for them nowadays is, asylum, if you're found, you know, guilty by insanity. Like, you wouldn't do actual prison time, you would just... No, I don't know. 15 years later, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. Yay! That is all. Court is adjourned. Alright. Well, we're back outside now. Nick, we did it! Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick. Crush. I gotta say, I'm impressed. Heh, it was pretty close, though. I was sure we'd had it. I know, I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory. So it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right? Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. I know. Try thank you. I see. Thank you, Wright. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Ugh. Sorry, I'm not good at this sort of thing. You've got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. Dear. Whoop! Amazing, pal. You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. How you doing, pal? And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month. But who cares? See, Mr. Edgeworth? You should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. I see. Ahem. Whoop. I feel foolish. Don't worry. Take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey, y'all! What are you doing here? Lotta! Y'all were great in there. Thank you. Yo, Edgeworth, congrats! Thank y'all very much. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at you. You wouldn't stick your hand in the cookie jar even if no one was there. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, eh? Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? Oh, I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick. Really? That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Huh? It's over, Nick. My life is over. Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick, I'm not long for this world. You don't look sick. It's Kiyoncé. She's going to live in Paris. Paris, Nick. She's leaving me behind. Larry. Yo, Edgy, there you are. Yes, here I am. Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift from me in celebration. Celebration? That's unusual for you. Harry Butts. You come along tonight too. My treat, pal. Huh? Thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. Why is he thinking? Oh, whispering. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? Right? I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right? Yeah? What's up? That envelope that Larry gave me, it's got money in it. Well, yeah, that's not strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? Huh? What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. $38 exactly? Nick! Wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? $38. No. No! Larry, it was you! What are you so surprised about, Wright? Huh? Larry was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. What? Think back to that day 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored. Came into school anyway. And he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right? You may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. I know. Really, Wright? I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this sure is an unexpected turn of events, eh? Edgeworth? You should have told me! Now, Nick, it was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. There you have it. Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did. Well, I'd call you a goody two-shoes to the extreme. Yeah, and you got worked up too easily, too. Death. The death sentence for both of you. Oh god, he's turning into Von Karma. Man, if only I had known I'd become a prosecutor. The same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time, I thought that I might have killed my own father. I thought I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth that... I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth. Want to switch, right? Hey, y'all! Line up, I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time, let's go! And after that, dinner on me. Detective Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom. Although Edgeworth was still in detention. Okay. The next day. Rancola office is at 5 a.m. Whoa, I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. Phoenix has got a hangover. Alright. Huh? It's only 5. Maybe I should go back to sleep. What's this? A letter. Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you, it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth too. I wanted to help you, but I couldn't. I was useless. So I decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye? What time is it? Gah! The first trains for the mountains have already left. To the station. I guess I'm too late. Hey! Nick! Maya! So, you're leaving? Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? Wait! What? I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. Huh? On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister? Yes, only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, and Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick. But you're the one who stopped Von Karma, Maya. Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in the daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? Alright, so, well, yeah, let's cheer her up. So, I mean... Misty Faye's photo. No, I'm not going to show her a photo of her dead mom, but I mean, to be fair, this did help. The DL6 bullet, it was the one thing that she was clutching. A bullet? Von Karma was convinced he had taken all of the evidence pertaining to DL6, but you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma, and you were the one who gave it to me. Nick. Thanks, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you. I'll be back soon. Huh? I'm going to complete my training and come back. Okay, I'll be waiting. Of course you will. You can't run that office by yourself. You're hopeless. I don't know about that. So, bye. Bye. Well, she's feeling a little more upbeat. Thanks, Nick. Why do they call him Nick? I will never get that. His name's Phoenix, and... Oh my freaking god. Nix. Nix. If you take off the X sound and just give it a hard sound, it's Nick. So Phoenix. Or like just, oh my god. Alright, alright. I'm just now getting that too. I feel so upset. And so my story ends. Time to turn a new page and say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins with the same old crazy cast of characters. Please don't break the fourth wall. Ha! Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur. Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim. Yes, Your Honor. Uh-oh. I got a bad feeling about this. And those are the credits. So yeah, I believe in the original... Oh, wait. Hey, pal. Mr. Edgeworth came down to the precinct to wish me a Happy New Year. Talk about a pleasant surprise. Whoop. Detective Gumshoe. Then he hung his head low and went right back outside. Kind of like he was embarrassed or something. Strange, huh? Okay, but yeah, we're going through the credits now because I believe when this game was originally released for the Game Boy Advance, this was, in fact, the last trial. But they added Chapter 5 for the DS release. Okay, who, me? I've been working at a cheese shop. That Missy's a nice lady, but she's not exactly what you call a cheap date. Huh? Oh, she's in Hawaii right now, yeah. Well, he found a new woman. He left Keonce for Missy Elliott. I'm sorry, just Missy. Looks like Larry's down with the swirl.
Oh, Payne! Right. Yeah, I remember him. I hear he's been busy lately. Not to ring my own bell, but I sort of taught him everything he knows. I'm sure he's grateful. That's my best droopy voice. Oh no, that makes me mad.
Okay, but yeah, I forgot all about Payne. But everybody forgets about Payne. Oh god, I forgot the voice I gave you. Yes, Phoenix Wright. The defense attorney for whom I wrote that affidavit for. Yes. You should know. I've taken over management of the Gatewater Hotel recently. Yes. Should you be in the area, please stop by. So yeah, the 5th chapter was added specifically for the DS version, I believe. And I like that chapter. Seems a lot of people didn't really, but I enjoy it. I mean, yeah, it's a bit long, but it's great. Oh, yeah, Phoenix Wright. Yes, Mio's understudy, was he not? Wonder how he's doing. Haven't seen him of late. The day of my youth. Like the scent of Fred Lemon, you see. Okay, can we get away from him? I'm not fond of Grossberg. I don't hate him, but I'm not fond of him. Oh god, old bag. I forgot the voice I gave her.
Phoenix Wright, he an actor. Well, I'm not buying it. You can't be a star with a name like
Phoenix. Actually, yes, you can. And okay, DVD box set. All right, DVD. 3 letters. Okay, I could barely keep up with that. Just sitting through the credits. I mean, what's the point of me giving final thoughts when there's one more chapter to go? Oh god. I'm pleased to announce the Pink Princess is a hit, brother. Sure owe that Mr. Wright a great deal, dude. Oh, and I'm keeping my face out of the public eye till the show's over, Jack. I wouldn't want to ruin any kid's dreams, Hey, this is extending a lot longer than I thought. But alright, let's keep going then. I have no choice.
Oh, I got a letter from Maya the other day. It sounds like she caught a cold standing under a waterfall. I wanted to visit but didn't have time, so I sent her some Pink Princess trading cards. She says she can't buy them where she is. What kind of place is she living at anyway?
Just catching up with everybody. Except Von Karma, who's kind of in prison for murder. Oh god, Cody.
Right? Who's that? You want to talk? Let's talk Pink Princess, alright? But, I snuck into the studio the other day. And I saw her. The one inside the Pink Princess suit. Ugh, what a dog. It's kind of a shock for a boy of my tender age.
Wow. Okay, rude. Wait, did he see Will Powers? Whatever. Oh god, Lotta.
Yeah, I remember Wright. That lawyer guy. Huh, me? I've been trained to become a paranormal photographer.
Unparanormal? You know that picture I took of everyone? Well, just behind them, there's a ghost. For real. Now that's talent. I'm gonna be famous. So it looks like she left college again to become a paranormal photographer. There was a ghost behind them. What? Thank you, Shinji Mikami. Oh. That ghost. Where did Dick get confetti from? Whatever. And with that, we're done. Alright. So, next time we're going to start episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. Yeah, you have to select that one entirely because at least for the Wii version of this game, for some reason, you have to buy this trial separately. Yeah. I don't know why, but it was a thing. I guess they wanted to keep it like the GBA version, and then you buy that to keep it like the DS version? I don't know, even though this has like the other dual screen things. But I'm just doing this so we can take a look at this. Yeah. That's pretty action-packed, actually. I kind of like this. Kind of like this. A lot of being there is just kind of like, whatever. So, yep. Next time, we start episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. Like a phoenix! Oh, snap! That symbolism! Ugh. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and see you next time for some more Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Goodbye.